One question we often talk about, because I've organized this, this thing called an entertainment meetup where we get a bunch of people together and it's a networking event kind of thing. How much has networking helped you in your career? Have you just kind of kept your head down and let your work speak for itself? Because sometimes I feel like all of these networking events are like, they're great, but what are we getting out of them? How much has networking helped you?
It's pretty much done everything for me.
Okay.
And it sort of starts with my dad.
Okay.
So my dad was like a pioneer, Desi guy in the film business.
Yeah.
He started making movies in 1980 and was for a long time like one of very few Indian people working out here. And so he really mentored, a lot of people.
Yeah.
And he loved going to like those things. He loved going to like the IFLA happy hours and like loved having coffee with people, young filmmakers who were like trying to figure out how to make it. And a lot of those people are now like huge filmmakers or executives. Like the number of times I go into like a pitch or a meeting and somebody sees my last name and they're like, "Oh, are you related to Jag Mundhra?" And I say, "Yeah, I'm his daughter." And they were like, "Oh, we had tea at your house, or we like met your dad for coffee like at the Starbucks like on the corner where we live." And so he really believed in that.
Yeah.
And he never did it with like any specific aim in mind. Like, what am I going to get out of this? It was just
It was just who he was.
It was who he was. He wanted to build community. He wanted to share information and resources and encourage people, and then also tap into people. Like he learned a lot from like younger people too. I've been the beneficiary. Like that's my inheritance.
Sure.
Honestly, like I've been the beneficiary of all of that like amazing goodwill. That he has. Among the Desi people in the film industry. But also like I try to embody that too. So I think when you go into those networking situations with like how many like connections am I going to get that's going to lead me to this or that, you're going to feel disappointed all the time.
Yeah.
But if you go into it being like, I'm just going to like be with my community, and if I always go into those situations thinking if I leave with like one meaningful conversation, like if I connect with one person and have a great conversation and follow it up, and like who knows where that could lead me. It could be something that pays off in a week, or it could take 10 years.
Sure.
But if I've connected with somebody and feel like I've really made like a friend in the industry, one person out of all of those meetings, it's a huge win for me. So that's,
I love that. I always think of it that way, that, there's things that are, there's a means and an end, And if we go into everything thinking that it's an end, you'll be happy.
Yeah.
If you think of it as a means, you're going to be miserable.
Exactly.
You're like, what is this going to lead to? What is this going to lead to? What is this going to lead to?
Yeah.
If you're always asking that question, you're never living in the moment. You're never living in the present. And you're always trying to use people or use this, or let me use this to parlay that into that. It's like, there's too much of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you could just approach it, do the work,
Yeah.
tell people about the work. I'm not saying you just have to
Yeah.
keep your head down and not do it, or not tell anyone about it.
Yeah.
But I do feel at the end of the day that like, if you just go, well, I got to do that. That
Yeah.
was a thing that existed and now
Yeah.
exists in the world.
Yeah.
Then that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me just do the ending. So we really want to thank you for joining us, Smriti Mundhra,
pleasure.
daughter of Jag Mundhra.
Yes.
On
That's
what
how I
do you
like
bring
be
to the
identified.
table? Yes, that's a lot of what he brought to the table,
Yes.
and part of why you're here. But of course, your own work and your own talent, your own skill as a producer, director, writer, and it's really an honor to have you grace us with your presence because you're so successful, currently successful, and there's so much more to go. So we really want to thank you for being here today. And if there's anything you want to wrap up with, you want to tell people where to find you, or anything you want to say to the camera or to me, you're welcome to.
No, just thank you for creating the space for all of us to share and talk and learn from each other. And it's great questions, great coffee, great game. I had a blast.
I'm so appreciative. Thank you so much. Well, thanks everyone for joining us on What Do You Bring to the Table? I've been your host, Rajiv, and I still am.